All right, today we are working in the Director software for OpenText Server Backup, formerly Carbonite Server Backup or Evault. And the goal of this today is to move where the database is being stored on the server. For our example, we've moved it to a faster storage medium, maybe a solid state, etc., on a new drive letter. We just want to speed up operations for the Vault. So the first thing that we need to do is actually make a backup of the database. So I'm just going to go onto my C drive here, and I'm going to create a new folder called Backup. And then I'm going to open up Command Prompt and cd into %vault %. And that is just a shortcut here if you're in CMD. If you are in PowerShell, then you can type in cd space $env vault, and it'll take you there also. From here, cd into the prog folder, and we're going to use the dbbackup command, space backup, and then we're going to tell it where to send that backup data, and then hit enter. And to confirm that we've completed that database backup, in my backup folder, I have the data.bin, so we're good to go with that one. The next step is to stop all of the director services. So I'm just going to do a quick check right here in my job monitor, make sure that nothing's running. I'm going to uncheck the show completed, and I can see that nothing is processing right now. If you did have something that was running, such as a backup or store, etc., then go ahead and either let that gracefully finish, or you can stop it from this interface right here in the job monitor. I'm going to open the services.msc, and I'm going to show you a little trick here to get all of these services stopped quickly, all in one go. Now, I do have a couple extra here, and mine is listed as Carbonite Server Backup. You could have OpenText Server Backup or Evault, but that's actually not where I'm going to go. I'm going to jump down to the S's down here, and we have the SQL Server Evault DB. Now, depending on your particular version, you could have EvaultDB underscore V800, and that would be your choice for this same process. Just right click on that, select stop, and then it's going to tell you all of those other services are going to get stopped along with it. And yes, that is what we want. So hit yes. With that simple trick, being able to get all the services stopped, we actually want SQL Server itself running and not those other services. So I'm going to right click on that and select start again. If we would have done a restart on it, it would have brought all of those other services back up, which is what we don't want. So at this point, we are now going to jump back to our folder structure. And my new location that I've created that has the super fast storage on it for my database is the D drive. So I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to create just a basic folder structure for where that database is going to go. All right, now we are ready to jump over to Command Prompt. In order to run a few commands to get the SQL database offline, then we need to drop it and attach it again when it's been moved to the right spot. This first command that we have here, which I will put in the comments down below, is going to set the database in an offline state. And there's no output from that command, but that's perfectly fine. One thing to note is I did use the evault underscore db. Again, if you have that V800, pay attention to any command changes that you might need for it. The next one is actually dropping the entire database because we need to remove that from the SQL information. And again, that one doesn't have any output either. Now that SQL is not tracking that particular database and where it's at, we're going to go to our folder structure again, and the default location, you can actually go to the address bar and type in that same %vault %. It'll take you directly to where the director was installed by default. And in here, we're going to go into that database folder, and we have each of these files. The data.bin and the bin.old are the backup process, and that's perfectly fine to actually stay in the default location, or you can change it if needed, and we can go over that at the very end. So these other two files, though, the MDF and the LDF, that is what we need to actually move to our new location. So I'm going to cut those, jump over to my director DB directory that I want to use, and paste it in that location. And now with this command, we can attach the MDF and LDF back into SQL. Running that command, again, has no output for it. And now we need to update an actual set in the database so that it can find information about the MDF LDF accordingly. I'm going to hit enter on this one, and it has the 1 row affected because we're actually inserting that information into the database itself. Next up, we're going to go up one directory here, go to the properties of your new folder and then the security tab, and we need to grant some permissions here. So let's hit the edit button here, and then we are going to add a permission, and then we'll type in NT space service, and then a backslash MSSQL $ Evault underscore DB. And then when you hit check names on this, it's going to come back and remove the NT service, but that means that it has found it when it's got the underline under here. So we're good to go for this, hitting OK. For this, we need to make sure we add full control for the allow setting on it, and then hit OK. Now we can jump back into the services and start all of these services. We can't use the SQL to start all of them because they're all stopped, so we just have to go one by one and start each of them. Now that these services are back online and everything's looking like it's okay, I'm going to refresh the director console here, and it looks like everything is showing up just fine. It's reading all of that information out of the database. In my job monitor, I have the maintenance service, which is online, and the active replication service. Now, one other thing that we can do is in our command prompt, we can go and check each task for the existence of files. And that is going to read all of the task information out of the database and then go check the existence of those files. In general, it's not a bad check. Super quick to go over the entire vault, and you're not actually checking the integrity of those files. Just if something got deleted off the file system, that's what it'll flag. But for our purposes here, it's reading out of the database where those files are supposed to be held. So it's a really good check. We'll run the vvpoolop command here with the check CRC task with an asterisk and then light like a light bulb. And this does not run for very long at all on a small vault, but you might have to give it a little bit of time if you've got a larger vault. And in the job monitor where we can see it's already done, I've got my show completed checked. I'll hit refresh and I've got it here. Checking the log, it's going through each of these tasks. And so that has verified to me that it has read the information out of the database and the tasks are good. At this point, there is one more thing that you might want to do on this one, and that's just a personal preference. On the Vault maintenance, under the scheduled entries, we have the database backup here. And right now, it's going to stay with the default of sending that backup into the Vault location and then the database directory, which can be perfectly fine, especially from a redundancy perspective, where you've got your production database on the D drive, and if anything happens to that D drive, you've still got this copy on the C drive. But if you're really wanting to change that to another location, I'm going to go through the steps. I'm going to recreate the exact config that I have just because I want to keep it there, but you can use the same process if you're wanting to move it elsewhere. Take the directory that you're wanting this backup to be made to and hit copy. And then in your Vault database backup here, just remove that. And then you're going to create a new custom one by clicking that custom button. And then on the wizard, you're going to hit next. On the command to execute, it defaults into the prog folder, so you don't have to put the full path. We just need the dbbackup command, and then backup a double quote, paste in your new path, close it out with a double quote, and then put in either that same or a new description. Maybe you could put in like Vault alt location for backup. And then select next for that one. And running it weekly will allow you to select each day that you want to run that. Midnight is usually fine for most companies. And then select finish. Now to verify that that is working correctly, I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to delete these ones. And then I'm going to highlight in the Vault schedule that command that I just created, select run now, and then yes. And I should see those populate. There it is right away. So we know that that was functioning just fine. The other way that we can see it was functioning fine is back in the job monitor, where I can refresh here and I can see a database maintenance has completed without issue. And viewing the log here, we can see backed up to the location that I specified for it. And with that, we have completed the move of the database as well as the backup. Everything's functioning okay, and this might improve some performance, or maybe you're just looking to kind of separate out and have it in a different location for just in case something did happen to a hard drive. Either way, you're good to go now for moving that database. If you have any questions about that process, go ahead and comment down below, and we'll catch you in another video. See ya.